This is something I've been waiting for a long time, for the song and the violin. First of all, I have to thank my partner, Mercedes Benz. It's not a car, okay? It's not a car, it's her name, okay? For this book. I've been working on this book for many years. Until 2 years ago, I met my YouTube channel partner, Mercedes Benz, and with her help, it come to a readable English. And she designed all the cover, everything, and put all the format, have it published. This is one of my life dreams.
This book, Father, Son, and Violin, introduces the journey to the new China, using my life as a violinist and my relationship with my father as the main axis. It's the story of 2 generations in the new China, and every Chinese can find themselves in this book. About the author. Daniel Olson Chen is one of the only comprehensive violin experts in the world. In terms of performance, he is a member of Bergen Music, and honored with a star on the historic Hollywood Walk of Fame. He attended the Hollywood celebration ceremony in 2015, representing the team on the red carpet for media interviews, and has an extensive list of outstanding musical compositions and recordings.
And this is Daniel Chen, and he's representing Daniel Egger tonight, and they're an 8-time winner and also nominated tonight as
well. From Norway, I believe the city is Bergen. Now, let me tell you about this category. We have submissions from all over the world, and for some reason, 60 or 70% of them are from Spain.
He has been awarded the Certificate of Merit in the Mittenwald International Violin Making Competition for violin and bow making, and has made and repaired violins and bows for many top professional violinists. In 2012, China's national TV series, King of Style, produced a 40-minute documentary on Daniel's violin life, featuring him as the highest achiever in the violin field and the world's #1 violin sound tuning expert. Writing is one of the passions and talents of Daniel Olson Chen, and for his Chinese book, The Violin Lady, was named Outstanding Writer of the Year 2002 in Taiwan. He was once called the #1 Chinese internet writer in Japan. Christian's Violin was written as a movie script in English by Daniel Chen in Hollywood and registered by the Writers Guild of America. The English version of Father, Son, and Violin was published in the U.S. Although he is a Norwegian citizen settled in Japan, he is in fact a citizen of the earth, and is constantly exploring through his YouTube channel AV Daniel Violin, sharing his vast knowledge of the violin and his travel adventures. Daniel Olson Chen, Chen Danjiu, was born in the New China. His great-uncle, Chen Runlin, a great Chinese educator, was the former teacher of Mao Zedong and Zhu Rongji. Now, entering his old age, Daniel Olson Chen still strives to learn new academic knowledge and skills every day with his young mind, working tirelessly to create and produce new musical works and write new books. Let's keep looking forward to his new works.
This book is about how a starving Chinese child become a Hollywood star musician for all the past. It started in the middle of 1950s. The first high climax was 1960s. It tells the 3 years natural disaster, and it goes to 1964, the Cultural Revolution. I also experienced. and how I started to learn violin, the conflict between me and my communist father, and how my father smashed my violin, which is on the back cover. Okay, the back cover, you can see. And then how I became a professional violinist, went to the conservatory, went to the West, and studied more with some very famous violinists, the world leading best violinists. And I was just on my way going to one of them. I changed my life course to violin making and violin repairing and shop owner. Why I changed that course, it tells. Okay, and how I helped my father. And finally, after my father passed away, how I went back to violin playing, and with my partner, we won the Hollywood Star. And only recently, I found out the fact that my great uncle was a teacher of Chairman Mao of Mao Zedong, and I was invited for the museum opening. This is what I'm coming here for this event. It's my grandfather, and I was really overwhelmed with the fact how close my family with Mao's family, with Mao himself. So this is a book based on the facts of my personal story, but it is also a Chinese vivid life historic book. Okay, you read my book, you understand this part of Chinese history. China has three periods of time. The first China is Mao's China, which is described in first of my books. Okay, in the first part of my book. Then the second China is Deng Xiaoping's China, also described in this book. Okay, it's totally another China. And now is the third China. Okay, that's Xi Jinping's China. And it's totally different from that two Chinas. So you have to understand these two China to understand to this China. Okay.
It was a big project, but it was worth it.
And we have this book now.
Yes.
And if people want to buy, how can they buy?
They will be able to buy this actually on Amazon is where you can find it. You can already find the Kindle there, and it will be linked with that Kindle. So when you look for Father-Son Violin, you'll have a choice now between the paperback and
the Kindle form.
Yes.
Okay.
It is interesting and it's new for a Westerner to read. But at the same time, there are things that you can really relate to as well. So just from the very beginning, the first chapter is what just captivated me. The opening actually is the first section of the first chapter really captivated me because there was a great deal of humor. It's from 6-year-old Daniel's perspective. And it was just, I've never heard anything like that before, especially inside of a political movement from a child's perspective. Okay, so you get to meet and kind of grow up with the character who is him. So you're looking through the eyes of a 6-year-old, and then a 9-year-old, and a 12-year-old, and a 14-year-old, and you're just going through all the way up until he's an adult, and the changes that happen through that time. So along with all of the political things that are going on, he's also trying to find his way. The character is trying to find his way in his own life through all of this. Really, it's absolutely crazy through the Cultural Revolution. It makes no sense to an adult. So imagine being a child who just wants some food in their stomach and some parents to kiss their boo-boo when they hurt themselves, and that's nowhere to be found. And how do you deal with that? And what effect does that have on you throughout your life? So it was actually fascinating because it's not just the story of, oh, this happened and then this happened. It ties in with all of these historical events throughout the Cultural Revolution. And you really, things are explained to you as well, so that you can have it in context. So even though it takes place in China during the Cultural Revolution, it's very easy the way it's written that you can understand exactly the feeling around that. So if you say, okay, how churches were viewed at that time, well, I don't know. Hey, churches are churches, and people go and pray there, and that's fine. Oh, but not during the Cultural Revolution. Okay, so in context, you are taken into a whole new, it's almost like a new world, really, even though it was on this planet and it really happened. It's
yeah, maybe this new world, okay, the China new world does not mean very much to the world before, but it's because now China is growing, China is changing the world now, I think.
Yeah.
So it's so important for people to understand China and start from this book,
Yeah.
I think. And I'm really telling the real true story, the vivid story, my personal experience during Mao's China and Deng's China. Also, I love today's China. I would say, yes, today Xi Jinping, I think he's doing a great job. So I love this. So I oppose that part of China. Does not mean that I hate my mother country, okay? It's not. I love my mother country, my motherland very, very much. Okay, and I have to say, Mercedes-Benz is an extremely smart person and a kind person and hardworking lady. So without her help, without this, the whole world is not going to see this book, not at all. Okay, and folks, listen, all my folks, fans who's watching my YouTube videos, now it's time for you to support me. Okay, pay for this book. Support me, support us. Okay.
and there'll be more to come.
Yes.
My second autobiography's Chinese version was finished a long time ago. An English version is planned. The book is about my life in Australia and Norway, with the title, A Saint, a Scholar, and a Prostitute. About my life in Japan, it could be my third autobiography titled, Gaijin, in Japanese meaning foreigner. The above 3 books will become a trilogy of the life of Daniel Olson Chen. Now, I live all over the world, traveling, learning, exploring, experiencing and enjoying every moment of my life.
As US, China work together, make this book out and make another book for the world. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.